Hey, what's up, WCReplays.com? This is Orange back again for another audio. Pause the 45-second mark, and yeah. Basically, this is going to be Orc versus Human, a different approach to how to do it. Basically, Minimum's got a different way of doing this, so I figured it would be cool to do an audio on that, as opposed to something standard, which is becoming more and more popular these days. I'm having a hard time finding replays, but that's not the reason why I haven't done an audio in a while. I mean, I got food poisoning, then my wisdom teeth, and then I had to move. Yeah, so that was kind of a pain. But whatever. Oh, I need to give a shout out to MSY Jutai. MSY Jutai. Here's your shout out. There's something else about that though. Can't remember. I don't know, he was bugging me on Battle.net about it, and I was like, yeah, sure, fine, I'll give you a shout out, whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was something else about that, but whatever. So, the map is Trent Stand, and it's generally considered to be a human map, just because there are 3 possible expos that the human can start at, or that they can fast expo at. And basically they can choose to either fast expo and tower, or they can tower you, or they can just play the standard without the towers. They have a lot of options. I mean, they can Firelord tower push you, they can do a lot of stuff. So generally, the flexibility is in favor of the human player, which is a bummer if you're not a human player. So today we will be following the epic tale of Minimum, probably the best orc player in North America right now, and we'll see his epic struggle. So let's unpause from the 45-second mark in 3, 2, 1, unpause. So you'll already notice he's got kind of a different build placement. He's got his altar and his barracks, not burrow, pretty far in front, and he's got his burrow in the back. In the back. So the reason he's got the burrow in the back is just because generally human players will run in and try and beat down on your burrows like at the very start. So you want to get your first burrow kind of in the back, just so that it makes it a little difficult, and they have to actually run their hero in around and stuff, and it makes it a little difficult. Your second burrow is probably going to go behind the altar, and the barracks is where you're going to put your third one. See where he's putting it right there. He's going to be going Farseer. I prefer to go to the Farseer, just so that I can get the chain wave going on. Not a fan of the Blade Master stuff, but whatever. So, yeah, the burrows will go behind the altar and the barracks, just because it helps to stop against any kind of tower push that goes on. Plus, you're not relying on your Voodoo Launch to tank up damage before they get to your burrows, so you can actually put that above your base, and then it's a little less accessible without having to go through intense burrow fire before getting there, stuff like that. It just protects it a little more. So what he's going to be doing is he's going to creep camp pretty quick. One thing that you can do is you can actually summon the wolves, and you can send them up to the Apprentice Wizard camp, where there's 3 of them. It's a good 60 EXP, so that's something I do. Oh, he goes for the Koboldo camp just to steal the item. Steal some EXP, just make it a little harder for the human player to actually hit level 3. But if that happens, all they really have to do is either head to the middle, or head to the Rogue Wizard camp near the Expos, and then there's your level 3. So it's really not that difficult, but it does put it out of the way, which is a pain if you're the human player. So, you'll notice the Orc is still creeping. He's doing a little bit of harassment, not too much. He's not being overly aggressive and taking too much on his Farseer, which is the difference in harassment between the Farseer and the Blade Master. If you are watching the Obs chat, they're going to say in a sec that he should have summoned the wolves after he picked up the mantle. The reason you do that is because you actually get, like when you pick up an item, it does a percentage of your mana. So if you pick up the item and then summon the wolves, you're losing less mana that way. I mean, you're still losing 75, but if you summon wolves and then pick up the mantle, you're losing a little more than 75 just because of the percentage of mana that you just picked up. I mean, it's only 45 mana, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference. But still, especially at this point in the game, it doesn't make that much of a difference, especially because by the time he hits level 2, he's going to probably pick up a clarity anyways, and then hit. That's just how it works. So one thing I will point out is this was in the Warcraft Champions League qualifiers. So yeah, I've actually been following KOD ever since I made it in. I saw it and I was like, oh my god, yes, which is awesome. One thing you always have to be wary of is when a human's going to expand, and generally when you keep the pressure you can actually figure out if they're going to expo or not. You'll notice the human player did go over, if you have Fog of War off, he did go over to the one camp that he crept out with the Rogue Wizard and... is it the Rogue Wizard? Yeah, Rogue Wizard and the Apprentice Wizards, the one with the Frost Armor and stuff near the bottom expo. He went there to try and get level 3, but he decided screw that and went for the burrows, which is generally a smart idea, especially when you know their Farseers at the other side of the map. So... one thing to keep in mind is that footies don't really do much damage against burrows, but burrows do a lot of damage to them. The one thing that you want to be concerned about is the Archmage. You want to get him out of the way first, because him and the water elementals actually do the most damage. I don't know why, just piercing seems to do more damage against burrows. I don't know. It's not supposed to be much of a difference, but it is. And what was I going to say? Spirit Lodge is going up in the back of the base, which is pretty smart. The reason he puts that there is because raiders aren't as important as getting Spirit Link and Dispel, just because it makes it harder for you to lose units, and plus you can actually save some stuff. The human player is really short on lumber though, which is a problem with the whole militia creeping thing. So human player hits level 3, good for him. At this point he's going to pick up a Beastmaster second, which is basically what all human players will be doing against you. So we'll be picking up a Beastmaster, and the reason that is because they're not going to be able to get a Farseer kill on you, and the only real counter that the MK is to the Blade Master, so you can actually kill it, because he doesn't have much HP, but if you do it against a Tauren Chieftain, you're not really going to be doing as much. And the reason that is because Tauren Chieftain is mostly HP based as opposed to armor based, which the Blade Master is armor based, and when someone uses a Stormbolt it kind of ignores the armor, which is stupid, but whatever. So let's see. If you look at the back of the human's base, he's going to be a little late on Sorceress. The Orc just lost a Grunt, which is kind of a bummer. You don't want to lose Grunts too often. But you will notice in this game that he doesn't replace the Grunts, and you'll see why. Generally, a lot of players like to replace their Grunts as soon as possible. Or, not as soon, well, yeah. But they want to do that just because it's kind of a pain to be fighting Breakers without Grunts. Just because you have so little damage output against them. I mean, all you'll have is your heroes. I mean, if you go with the Blade Master, you actually have some sort of damage output, but with the Farseer, all you really have is the Farseer and the Tauren Chieftain, unless you have a few Grunts. And you have the Wolves, but they usually get Dispelled, so it doesn't matter. He's setting up the Bestiary. That's kind of a risky thing to do, especially with the human heroes running about. He can just use the summons to focus down on that Bestiary, but yeah, that's one thing to be aware of. What was I going to say? Oh, one thing that you probably shouldn't do as the human player is focus down on the Farseer. And the reason you don't want to do that is because he's just going to run away, and you're not really going to be able to keep up with him. And Speed Scroll for the win. Yeah, but you're not really going to be able to keep up with the Farseer, and the reason that is, well, he has fast movement speed, but the other reason you want to keep him around is because he'll keep summoning wolves, and that's a good 30 EXP for you. So you just want to take out the wolves ASAP.